Welcome to Francis Reads the Bible with me, Francis Okeke. Today I'll be moving on to Genesis chapter 8. And in Genesis chapter 8, it says, God had not forgotten Noah and all the animals with him in the boat. He caused the wind to blow and the water started going down. It's interesting to note in verse 2 that the flood didn't just come from rain from heaven, but also the flood water from beneath the earth. So land has water beneath earth. You should know that when people try to dig their borehole, they dig all the way down and there's water. So water came out from the earth and from the sky, and that was what caused the flood, or how God brought out water for the flooding. And the rain stopped and the water gradually went down for 150 days. What I'm picking from here is, Frances, God has not forgotten about you. So that's one thing I also want you to know, that no matter what it is, God has not forgotten about you. The same way he did not forget Noah and the animals in the boat. So on the 17th day of the seventh month, this is like 5 months after the flooding started, because Noah and the animals went into the boat and the rain began on the 17th day of February. And this is the 17th of July. So the water kept going down, and on the first day of the 10th month, that's the 10th of October, tops of the mountains appeared. Damn. I can't imagine being cooped up in one place for that long. During COVID, lots of people were affected because they had to stay indoors for like months. Depends on where your lockdown was. I wasn't in Nigeria at the time, and we were indoors for a long while. It affected a lot of people mentally and whatnot. So yeah, I can't imagine it. After 40 days from the 10th of October, because remember, we just left 10th of October, and now it's 40 days after that date, Noah opened the window and sent out a raven. But the raven didn't come back. It kept flying around until the water was completely gone. And I don't blame the raven. Imagine being you're a bird, you need to fly, and you're inside somewhere for months. Almost 9 months now, or 9 months already, past 9 months. So yeah, the raven was like, nah, 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 I ain't going back in there. I'm gonna fly. I'm a bird. I'm gonna be free. So the raven didn't go back. And it's interesting to note that Noah waited for 40 days. Like I said, there's something about the number 40, you know. Hmm. So Noah waited for 40 days and then he opened the window and before he sent out that raven. So 40 is something I see all over in the Bible. 40 days, 40 years, 40. Then Noah sent out a dove since the raven didn't come back. But since the water still covered all the land in verse 9, the dove did not find a place to light. It flew back to the boats and Noah reached out and took it in. Well, the raven does not mind flying around. The dove does not like stress. I beg, there's nowhere to perch. Let me find somewhere to rest, please. I ain't got time to be flying around all day, months. Please let me go to where I can land my feet. And the dove went back to the boat. You can also say the dove was obedient. Yeah. So the dove went back to the boat. And then Noah waited another 7 days and he sent the dove out again. Then this time he returned with a fresh olive leaf. Well, you could say, yeah, the dove could have perched on the olive tree, but I'm not sure if there was somewhere perchable at the time. Or, like I said, the dove was being obedient and he came back. But then Noah waited another 7 days and he sent out the dove, once more. But he did not come back. He found somewhere to perch, to rest, to do all he wanted to do, fly from tree to tree, from branch to branch. So the dove never came back. So yeah, like I said, I don't think the dove likes stress. very meek, very gentle creatures. Then, when Noah was 601 years old, on the first day of the first month, the water was gone. Remember, this thing started when Noah was 600 years old. So, the first day of the first month means the 1st of January. Then Noah looked outside and the ground was getting dry. By the 27th day of the second month, this was now over a year. Remember, this started 17th of February, and now this is 27th day of February. It's been past a year already, and they've been in that boat for over a year. Wow. Being cooped up. I'm an ambivert, but I can't imagine, even my introverted side, I like staying indoors, but I can't imagine being in one place for a year. So this is telling you that Noah was very obedient. He could have said, "Oh, let's step outside on a tiny boat and look around. Or let's step outside and pick things from the trees and whatnot." But Noah was obedient. He still stayed in there, inside the boat. So now, like I said, Noah is very obedient. He didn't assume, "Oh, God wants me to leave now that there's land. There are trees everywhere and the land is practically dry." He waited for God's instruction. He waited for God to say, "Okay, it is time, come out." He didn't just assume, "Oh, God wants me to go out now. Come on, there's dry land. I'm going crazy in here. I can't take it anymore." For there to be land, it means it's a sign that God wants me to go out. No, Noah waited to hear from God before he took his next move. And God told him, "Go out of the boat with your wife, your sons, and their wives. Take all the birds and animals out with you, so that they may reproduce and spread over all the earth." And so Noah obeyed and did all that God told him to do from verse 18 to 19. He did exactly what God asked, because he waited for instructions from God, you know. And then, so in verse 20, Noah built an altar to the Lord. He did some sacrifice, and God, from verse 21, the order of the sacrifice pleased the Lord, and he said to himself, not to Noah, but to himself, "Never again will I put the earth under a curse because of what people do. I know that from the time they are young, their thoughts are evil. Never again will I destroy all living beings as I have done this time." Because God has realized, okay, I give up. These people, destroying them won't make any difference. I can see, obviously, even these ones that are going to reproduce, their thoughts will be evil from young. They have evil thoughts. So I'm not going to destroy the whole world anymore because of people and their actions. So, and then there will be, and then in verse 22, God says, as long as the world exists, there will be a time for planting and a time for harvest. There will always be cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. Well, in Africa, my part of Africa, we don't have winter. But going to other countries in the world, winter is my favorite time of the year. I love winter. So God created the seasons and whatnot this period. You can look at it literally, but in my head, that's a time for planting and a time for harvest. Means no matter what you do, there will always be repercussions for your actions. So if you're an evil man, you will reap what you sow. If you're good, you will reap what you sow. And also there will also always be good and evil on earth. That's how I see that beginning of verse 22. You know. So as there's you can find this on my YouTube channel. And always remember, this is Frances Reads the Bible. I'm not a pastor. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.